Okay, and then I'm going to hand it over to Mary.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm so happy to be here with you all this morning, whether you're joining live or following along with the recorded video later on. As Sarah mentioned, my name's Mary, and I teach at a few studios throughout Milwaukee, and I've been teaching yoga for a few years. So a big part of yoga, if you're new to yoga in general, or even this little library series, is breath awareness. So it's pretty much the biggest thing when it comes to yoga. I think a lot of us know that just from what we see on TV and TV shows. And really, the focus on the breath comes from creating a connection with the body, with the mind. So by focusing on the breath, we work towards calming. It gives us a point of focus, and by having that point of focus, we can kind of let go of maybe to-do lists, things that we have to look forward to for the upcoming days, and kind of just stay in the present moment. You might even hear it as mindfulness, just being aware of what's going on right now. So we'll work a ton of that into our practice today. And to get started, I want you to find a comfortable position lying down flat on your back. So make your way there however you need to get comfortable. And then when you do get there, have the knees bent and walk your feet out. If you're using a yoga mat, maybe your feet are as wide as the sides of your mat and you're letting your knees come in towards each other. So we call this constructive rest. And then you can have the arms resting at your sides, palms face open. And I want you to start by just taking a deep breath in. And then a full breath out the mouth, like a ha sound. And we'll try a breath like that. Inhale through the nose, big breath. Exhale out the mouth, let it all go. And then just let the breath be normal. Let it fall in and out the mouth, in the nose, out the mouth naturally. And what I want you to do is just notice how your physical body's feeling. So how do you actually feel? The muscles in your body, your ligaments, your bones. Where are you feeling tension? Where are you feeling open? Maybe you notice you're squeezing the fingers or clenching the toes together. Try to let them relax. Letting the jaw fall slack. If the eyes are closed, maybe feeling them sink heavy into their sockets. So the whole body is experiencing this sensation of heaviness. All while you're doing this, continuing to notice the breath. If you find it particularly challenging to keep your awareness on your breath, as you breathe in, maybe say, I am inhaling. As you breathe out, say to yourself, I am exhaling. Or just simply inhaling, exhaling. And now I want you to start to think about what the mind is doing. So noticing if you're drifting off with the thoughts that start to creep into the mind, because that's what the mind does, it thinks. And in yoga, we don't work towards stopping our thoughts. We just work towards letting them go. And to do that, we keep that single pointed focus on the breath. Always come back to the breath. It's all you really need in this moment right here. Take one hand to your low belly and then place your other hand, take it right to the top of your heart. And then with a deep breath in, fill up your low belly like you are filling a balloon. Feel the bottom hand rise. And then continue to breathe in. See if you can breathe all the way into the chest so you feel the top hand rise. And then exhale, release from the chest. Feel the top hand lower. And then the belly, the bottom hand lower. So now we're truly experiencing and feeling the breath in our body. We'll do this for a few more rounds. Inhale, filling up the low belly, feeling the bottom hand rise, continuing to breathe all the way into the ribs and the chest. And then exhale, feeling the hands lower and fall back down. One more full time through. Inhale, filling up. Exhale, letting it go. And then from here, start to draw your knees into the chest and take your hands to rest on top of the knees or shins. Pull them in and then start to rock a little bit from side to side. And as you do this, think about keeping your tailbone, so the base of your spine, on the mat. The shoulders are on the mat. So notice if they want to start to creep up towards the ears, try to let them relax a little bit. And then coming into some stillness at center, keep the knees hugging in, but bring your arms out to a T shape, coming straight out from the shoulders. So like you were making a capital T with the upper body, palms are going to face down towards the floor. Take a full breath in. Think of that full belly breath. And then as you exhale, gently let the legs fall over to the right. So both legs are falling over to the right side of the mat, and you're going to start to twist the upper body. If it feels comfortable in the neck, pick up the head and then start to shift the gaze over the left shoulder so you're looking at your left fingertips. Coming back to that full breath, inhaling into the belly, the ribs, chest, exhaling chest, ribs, belly. Press the palms down into the floor and then use that press down to lift the knees back to center. Bring the head back to center. So reposition yourself on your mat. Another full breath in. Exhale, let the legs fall to the left. So you're just switching sides as the legs gently land down. Option to bring the gaze over the right shoulder. So you're going to turn your neck so that you're looking towards the right fingertip. Full breath in. Huge breath out with the side leg go. Make your way back to center, so press the palms down and then plant your feet on the mat. Bring your arms at your sides this time so your fingertips are going to brush towards your heels. Feet are about hip distance. Roll the shoulders down the back and then slightly tuck your chin into your chest. Press the feet down into the floor beneath you and then start to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. So you're coming into a gentle back bend. Your glutes are gently squeezing in towards each other and you're making this bridge shape with the body. And then take a moment to check out what your knees are doing. You don't have to look at them, but notice if they're kind of splaying out to the side. Try to pull them back in towards each other so they stay in line with the hips. We'll just take another deep breath in, filling up the belly and the chest, noticing if a little more space is created in the front body. And then as you exhale, carefully lower down from your upper back to your mid back, your low back, until you rest all the way on your mat. And then from here, you're going to roll over onto one side just so that you can transition. When you roll over, press your top hand down to the floor so that you can press yourself up into a comfortable seat. So once you press yourself up, you can find a cross-legged seated position. And if you're sitting on a chair, you can just stay in your chair. Don't worry about crossing your legs. Hands are gently resting on the knees, palms down. Roll the shoulders back, sit up nice and tall. And then as you inhale, start to lean your chest forward towards your legs. And then take it over to the right. So you're going to lean to the right. And then start to lean back. And you're almost going to start to draw this circle shape with the body. So coming through center, lean over to the left, and then draw your body forward once again. So imagine that your body was a mixing bowl, and your upper body was just sort of like the spoon, kind of mixing whatever you're making. And do this for a few rounds. You could even start to link breath to movement as you come forward, breathing in, and as you come back, breathing out. You've got a few more rounds. So we're going to switch out that rotation, come to center, so the chest is leaning forward, and then we'll take it over to the left. So just start to lean to the left, leaning back, over to the right, and then coming forward. Same thing, just switching directions this time. And the movement doesn't have to be huge. These circles can be small, so do what feels right for you. Mixing that one more time through. And then we'll meet back at center. Nice, tall, neutral spine. So what I mean by that is your shoulders are stacking over your hips. Your chin is slightly tucked into your chest, and the top of your head is pressing up. As you breathe in, sweep the arms out to the side and all the way up. And on an exhale, you're going to twist to the right. So you're going to bring your left hand to the outside of the right thigh or knee, and then bring your right fingertips behind you. So you're starting to twist. Take a deep breath in, sit up nice and tall. Press your booty down into the floor and extend the top of your head up. And then maybe you start to shift your gaze towards the back shoulder. Inhale, reach back to center. So unwind, reach the arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, twist in the opposite direction. So twisting to the left, right hand to the outside of the left thigh or knee, and then bring the left fingertips behind you. Press down, lift up as you inhale. And then as you exhale, see if you can start to shift the gaze towards the left shoulder. Full breath in. Huge breath out. And then we're going to flow this out, syncing breath to movement. Use your inhale to sit up nice and tall, reach to center. Exhale, switch back, twist to the right. Inhale, sweep back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. One more time, either side. Inhale, reach up high, unwind. Exhale to the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center, arms reach up. See if you can bring the palms together this time. And then as you exhale, bring the thumbs to meet the center of the chest. Palms are pressing in towards each other. Maybe let the eyes close for a moment. Reconnect back with the flow of the breath, breathing in and out. If your eyes are closed, gently open them. We're going to transition to all fours. So you can swing your legs off to one side, and you're going to come onto your hands and knees. So what that looks like is you're going to bring your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under the hips. If you have any sensitivity in your knees, go ahead. You could grab a blanket if you have one and stick it underneath it. If you have sensitivity in your wrists, maybe you even just drop onto your forearms. You can take the same movement. And then from here, as you breathe in, start to drop your belly down towards the floor, tilt your tailbone, shift your gaze up towards the ceiling, for cow pose. So maybe you even envision yourself like a cow here. You don't have to. And then as you exhale, draw the navel in and up. So belly pulls into the spine, bring the chin into the chest, tuck your tailbone under for cat. So imagining like you were that kind of stereotypical black Halloween cat arching its back when it's scared. Inhale, come back to cow. Soften the belly, look up. Exhale to cat. Press the palms down, round through the upper back. Look at your belly button as you round back. And then see if you can take this movement for a few rounds on your own. And don't worry about messing up. We all breathe at different rhythms. Seeing if you can let the duration of your breath match the duration of the movement. Finishing out whatever round you're on. And then we'll come back to our neutral tabletop position. So just like from seated, remembering what that looks like. Shoulders in line with the hips, crown of the head sort of in line with the back body. And then you're going to bring your knees out wide. If you're using a mat, bring them to the sides of the mat. Bring your two big toes together and then start to stretch your hips back to your heels for a child's pose. If you have the space, you can start to walk the arms forward. Maybe the forehead comes all the way down to the floor. If this is feeling like too much in the hips, simply lift the hips up a little bit and then only press back as much as it feels okay in your low back. And then we'll come back to that observing of the breath. Inhaling, filling up the belly, breathing into the ribs and the chest, totally filling up the front body. Exhale, release from the chest, ribs, belly, let it soften. Another full breath in and out. Start to shift back to hands and knees. So press the palms down and then lift back to all fours. Bring the knees back underneath the hips and then tuck under your toes. See if you can reach back and get all of your toes tucked under. So even the pinky toe. And then you're going to start to walk your hands back towards your knees. The hips are going to press towards the heels. And I want you to stop once you feel like you've got an intense enough stretch for you in the bottoms of your feet. So it could be here, especially if you don't stretch your feet often. This can be really intense. If you feel like you could explore a little bit more opening, walk the hands in, and then maybe sit all the way up so your heels or your hips are actually resting on your heels. Hands can rest on the thighs, and then just pause wherever you're at for a few rounds of breath. If at any time this toe stretch begins to be too much, just return to tabletop and untuck the toes. We won't be here for very long. It takes just a second for our body to understand that it's okay to release a little bit. And our whole body is connected. So if you don't stretch out the feet, maybe start to do so because it can help relieve pain in other areas of the body. And then come back to all fours, untuck the toes, maybe tap the tops of the feet down to the mat to just let that go. And then I'm going to shift myself to face you so that you can see what I'm doing. From all fours, you're going to step your right leg all the way out to the right side and plant your foot down so that your toes are pointing forward and your heel is pointing back. And you're already going to start to feel a stretch in the inside of your right leg. So just pause for a moment, kind of let that stretch happen. Maybe you rock forward and back a little bit, so shifting the shoulders past the fingertips and then pressing the hips back. That's going to increase the stretch a little bit more. And then if you're finding those rocks, pause with the shoulders back over the wrist, walk the hands in towards you, and you're going to lift all the way up to like this kneeling position. Bring your hands to your hips. So your right leg is still stretched out, and I would say that your left knee is in line with the arch of your right foot. From here, with an inhale, sweep the arms all the way out to the side and up. And then as you exhale, start to bring your right arm down the right leg, reach the left arm up, and then lean to the right. This is a pretty intense stretch for the left side of the body. And so we're going to soften into it a few more times, pressing through the bottom, your legs and your feet. Inhale, lift back up, reach both arms up. And then we'll settle into it 2 more times. Exhale, right arm down the leg, reach the left arm up and over. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, slide down, and then you're going to hold it. Notice what the top shoulder is doing. So the left shoulder is going to have a tendency to want to curl in. See if you can pull it back. So you're going to shift your heart, your chest, more up towards the ceiling. Another full breath in and a full breath out. Okay, come back to center. Bring your hands to your hips. And then you're going to slowly lower back towards table. So you can shift your hips back to maintain your balance, and then bring your hands back out in front of you. Return your right knee back under the hips, so find table. And then we're going to find a few rounds of cat-cow to kind of wash that out. Inhale, little belly softens. Look up for cow. Exhale to cat. Pull the belly in. Puff up the back. One more time through. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. We'll meet back in table, and then we'll switch sides. So this time you're going to extend your left leg out to your left side, plant the foot down, toes pointing forward, heels back. And then you decide you can stay here if this is enough stretch in your inner left leg, or start to find that little pulse forward and back. So shifting the hips back towards the right heel and then coming forward. You could even start to notice how this side feels compared to the other. So that's another big part of our yoga practice, kind of honoring the different sides of our body, knowing that we're not symmetrical, we're uneven. So one side's going to feel different. If you're finding those pulses, bring the shoulders back over the wrists and then carefully walk the hands in towards you, coming all the way up to kneeling. Hands can come to the hips first for stability. And then before we move on, let's kind of check out our alignment here. Right knee is aligned with the inner arch of the left foot. And then once you feel stable through your foundation, with an inhale, sweep the arms all the way up high. And as you exhale, left arm's going to come down the left leg, reach the right arm up, and lean to the left. And then we'll pulse this out a few more times. Inhale, reach to center, both arms up. Exhale, back over to the left. Inhale, center, reach up high, find length as you reach up. Last time, exhale, lean to the left, and then you're going to hold it there. See if you can roll the top shoulder back. So right shoulder stacking over left, maybe you even shift your gaze up. Continuing to breathe along the entire right side of your body. Full breath in and out. Press into the foundation to lift yourself back up with an inhale. Exhale, hands to the hips. Okay, from here we'll come back to all fours. So shift the hips back to kind of find that counterbalance and weight. and then bring the hands back out in front of you. And then I'll turn myself back around so that you can see me. From here, keep the knees or the hips stacked over the knees, and we're going to find a puppy dog pose. So just like your puppy might take a stretch in the morning, start to walk your arms forward. And as the arms come forward, hips stay stacking over the knees. See if you can start to let the chest soften towards the floor beneath you. Maybe the head comes between the arms. And the forehead doesn't have to come all the way down to the floor, but maybe it does. And I want you to think about keeping that stretch of the hips in the low back. So you're pressing back as the arms reach forward. So just like the puppy stretches in the morning or after a good nap, letting the front body sink open. Full breath in and out. Okay, from here, you're going to look forward to your hands and pull yourself onto your belly. So the legs are going to straighten out behind you, and then stay on your forearms. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders and spread your fingers wide. So your forearms are parallel. Bring your chin even with the floor so your gaze is forward. And in yoga, we call this Sphinx pose. So if you're familiar with, the Sphinx in Egypt, this is a pretty similar shape to that. Pull back on the palms of the hands a little bit and the forearms. See if that helps you lift the chest a little higher so you're feeling a gentle opening in the front body, but then also this back bend in the back body. And then if it feels okay in the neck, drop the chin to the chest. From here, roll the right ear towards the right shoulder, and then notice a stretch in the left side of the neck. Pausing, and then bring the chin back down to the chest. And then switch sides, left ear to the left shoulder. Pause and breathe into the right side of your neck. Bring everything back to center, chin to the chest, and then lift your head up. From here, you're going to lower all the way onto the belly, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and you're going to press back to a child's pose. So we took the pose at the beginning of class. Bend your knees, press your hips back, bring your knees wide, your two big toes together, and then stretch the hips back once again. Remembering to come into it to a degree that feels comfortable for you so you don't have to sit all the way back. You can keep this gentle pressing of the hips back. And then from here, start to walk the hands in towards you. And we're going to make our way up to standing, but we're not going to really transition through any sort of fancy way. So I want you to get there however you need. It could be just tucking under the toes, pressing yourself up and coming all the way up to standing, and then take yourself to the front of your mat if you're using one. So from here, we'll meet, I'll shift to face you for a moment. We'll meet in our mountain pose. So the inner edges of your feet are touching, arms at your sides, palms forward. Roll the shoulders down the back, and this is the pose from where we start. Maybe let the eyes close for a moment. And then see if you can start to shift the weight a little bit. So shifting the weight from the front to the back of the feet. Maybe a little bit from side to side until you find this point of balance and equilibrium somewhere in the center. And then with a full breath in, you can open the eyes and sweep the arms all the way up high. Bring the palms together. As you exhale, bring the thumbs to connect to the center of your chest. So just warming up the shoulders. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Maybe gaze follows as the arms reach up. Exhale, hands to the center of your heart. One more time. This time we're going to add in a fold. Inhale, the arms reach up high. As you exhale, hands can cut down the center again, but bend your knees and then fold yourself all the way to the floor. Think chest to thigh, and then reach the arms down. You can heel toe the feet out a little bit. Grab for opposite elbows, bend the knees a lot, and then I just want you to pretend like you are a rag doll. So sway a little from side to side. Let the top of the head be really heavy, so relax the neck. You might even find that shift of the weight from front to back. You should feel more of a stretch in your low back. So if you're feeling really a deep stretch in your hamstrings, bend your knees more. This should feel more restorative than a stretch. And then come to center. Bring the hands to rest on the ankles or shins. As you inhale, lift up halfway. Slide the hands up the legs. Think tabletop. I'm going to turn myself so you can see me. Think tabletop in the upper body. So crown of the head's in line with the tailbone. Full breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, refold, come all the way down, reach towards the earth. And then we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Slide the fingers up the shins. Only come up halfway. And then exhale, fold yourself all the way down. 1 more time like that. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And then from here, you're going to find a slow roll back up to your mountain pose. Keep the chin into the chest, arms at the side. Whoever can move the slowest wins. Just kidding, but try to let it be super slow. Head comes up last. And then as you lift up, roll the shoulders down the back. From here, take your hands to your low back. Fingers are going to point down. Draw the elbows in. And this might be where you stay if you're already feeling enough stretch in your front body. Otherwise, start to press the palms into the backs of the hips. The hips are automatically going to start to press forward. Lift the chest up. Start to lean back. So now you're finding this standing back bend shape. With your gaze, you can keep it forward at the wall in front of you. If the neck feels okay, maybe look up towards the ceiling. Let your head fall between the shoulders, and you're really opening up here. Deep breath in, seeing if you can feel that expansion all the way into the chest. And then as you exhale, come upright. Imagine your hands were paint brushes. Brush them down the backs of your legs and fold back into yourself. So coming back into your standing forward fold. All right, inhale, halfway lift. Fingers to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly rise up to mountain. We've been here before. Arms at the sides, heads come up last. And then we'll find 1 more back bend at the top. Hands to the low back. Draw the elbows in. Press the hands into the hips. Lean back. Full breath in. And a huge breath out. Come back to center. Bring your hands to heart center. Find your mountain pose. And then from here, we'll work on a little bit of balance. So if you've been sticking with me, then you'll have done tree before, but we're going to come into tree pose. So I'm turning myself to face to you again. From here, you're going to root down through the left foot. So what I mean by that is really press the foot down. And then start to peel the sole of your right foot up. So peel the bottom of your right foot off the mat and then turn your right knee out to the side. Bring the bottom of your foot to your inner left ankle. And you might already start to notice that you're wobbling a little bit. Find a focal point out in front of you. So something on the floor or maybe the wall in front of you that's not moving. And I want you to maintain your focus there. If you feel like you want to challenge your balance a little bit more, you can start to work the right foot up the inner left leg, maybe resting it to the inner left calf or thigh, but just be cautious of the knee. Keep pressing the left foot down, relaxing the shoulders, finding that focal point. If you want to add in a little more challenge, maybe start to grow your branches, reaching your branches, your arms up towards the sky. And it's okay if you sway a little side to side, because even trees have a strong foundation, but the tops of them move. So connect to the foundation and breathe. If you fall, it's okay. To release, bring the palms together, thumbs back to the chest, draw the right knee forward, and then release the leg. Shake it out. You can kind of step out the legs, wiggle the arms, move around a little bit. And then we'll prepare for the other side. Finding your stable mountain, inner edges of the feet to touch, hands to heart center. Relax the shoulders and then reconnect with your focal point that you found before. Press down into the right foot, and then from that press down, find the stability, peel the sole of the left foot, the bottom of your left foot off of the floor. Turn the left knee out to the side. Start to rest the bottom of your foot to the inside of your right leg. It can be at the ankle. It could also move up to the inner calf. Maybe the thigh if you've got a lot of experience with this pose, but no need to rush. Just be cautious of placing the foot at the knee, so we're trying to stay away from the joint. And if you worked in that arm variation before and you want to try reaching the arms up, maintain that focus and don't rush this. Slowly reach them up and breathe. Remembering that one side is different than the other, so this side might be more difficult, or maybe you find it a little easier. And take another full breath in. Use an exhale to release, palms together, thumbs back to the heart, draw the left knee forward, release the leg, shake it out, let it go. Okay, so from here we'll transition back down towards the floor. We'll flow to get there. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up high. Tall mountain pose, reach for the sky. Exhale, standing forward fold, bend the knees, cut the hands down the center, fold into yourself, reach towards the earth. And then from here, heel toe your feet out nice and wide. And then start to bend your knees, and you're going to make your way all the way onto the mat. If that's too difficult, just make your way down to the floor however you need to get there. And then you're going to extend both legs straight out in front of you. And take a second to move the fleshy part. So scoot your booty back a little bit so you're finding a little bit more length in your back body. So you have this like little natural tilt forward rather than rounding back. And then have a nice generous bend in your knees as much as you need. Bring your hands to either sides of your hips. Press the palms down. Roll the shoulders down the back, and then see how it feels to just maintain this upright position. It's not easy. Chin slightly tucked into the chest. Crown of the head pressing up. Your sits bones pressing down, your palms pressing down. And then see if you can point your toes up towards the ceiling and press the backs of your legs down so everything is turned on. This is actually deceivingly challenging. All right, from here with a breath in, sweep the arms out to the side and up. And then as you exhale, think of your standing forward fold, but this time you're coming to it from seated. Start to hinge forward. The hands can come to rest on the outsides of the legs. Maybe grab for the shins, ankles, or feet, kind of depending on your level of flexibility, but don't push it. So you're just trying to find where you naturally fall and then breathe into that space. So don't go beyond what feels comfortable to you. As long as the low back feels okay, let the chin come into the chest so that the upper neck softens and just start to bow in. Taking a deep breath in, thinking of the breath traveling up the spine to the top of your head, so almost finding some length. And then as you exhale, noticing the breath travel down to the back body, seeing if you can fold yourself in a little more. And you could even continue that pulsing, inhale, lengthening, sitting up tall. Exhale, releasing, letting the upper body settle. All right, start to walk the hands up the legs to lift yourself up. And then bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Fingers are going to point towards you. Bend both of your knees, and then think of that pose we did at the beginning of class with the feet wide. This time, keep your knees as equally as wide as the feet, so they're not rocking in. Your feet are wide and your knees are wide. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let both legs fall over to the right. So you're just kind of finding this little windshield wiper motion. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale over to the left. And then sway this out a little bit on your own, just shifting from side to side. And then from here, you're going to make your way into a comfortable seat. So legs could be crossed, or you could be kneeling on your shins. Legs could be extended out in front of you, whatever is going to allow you to feel most comfortable. And then I'm going to encourage you to let your eyes close. Find a nice, comfortable position for your hands resting on the knees or thighs. And typically in yoga, we end with a practice called Shavasana. So it's this final resting pose on our back. But there's also this opportunity to kind of settle into a meditation. And typically, not all, but typically meditation is done more from a seated position, so it's a little more active. And so rather than coming into rest on our back like we normally do or have been doing, I just wanted to offer you this opportunity to sit with your breath for a moment in silence and just see how it feels. Not just observing the breath, but experiencing the breath. Feeling the inhale. What happens? Feeling the exhale. Letting it go. Shifting from your thinking mind to your feeling mind. Letting any distractions bring you closer to the breath. And from here, bring the hands back together in front of the heart. Connect the palms, thumbs to the chest. Bring yourself back into the present moment. Noticing whatever you notice, whatever came up is perfectly okay. It's a practice. And from my heart to yours, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Have a great day.